Good morning, everybody. Now, welcome to this amazing episode of Around the Loop. And I have a very, very special guest. If you guys don't know who this gentleman is, well, you're going to know, and you're going to know a lot about him. So let's give a warm round of applause and a warm welcome to, who do we have?
Justin Lee with Ay Papi.
Thank you so much. And I appreciate you so much for being out here and taking your time to meet me halfway, because it was a journey for both of us. So I do appreciate the travel, especially as a mobile podcast. Like this means a lot. I usually don't have, it's rare that I have people meet me halfway. So I do appreciate this a lot. And I'm so excited, but let's get started to the name. Where did Ay Papi come from? I'm so curious about that.
It's a great question. Well, we are down here in SoCal. Mm-hmm. If we know the history of California, this was Mexico at one point before it became part of the United States and California. So there's a big cultural presence here, especially in Southern California.
True.
In elementary school, we would have to do like the mission projects in here. I think we all remember that. And it was like, you start opening your eyes to like seeing the history of what this place was before it was influenced by American culture.
Yeah.
Right? And when you look at the streets, like Mission Viejo, La Paz, right? All these names, San Juan Capistrano, like all these names are
San Diego or Escondido or like it's all Spanish names.
Heritage, and culture. And so there's a deep influence, whether you like it or not, you're going to be influenced by Mexican and Spanish culture just living here. Me growing up in South Orange County, it's basically just like, especially when I was there weren't really any Asian people. It was just basically Mexican people and white people.
Okay.
It wasn't until like the 2000s where you started getting more Asian people moved to South Orange County. They kind of like stopped at Irvine. But now when you go to like Mission Viejo and Aliso Viejo in that area, in Laguna, you're seeing a lot more of a larger Asian population and presence there. But so for me, like a lot of my friends, like if you went to their house, they're speaking Spanish, and you're
at the
eating,
carne asadas.
You're eating delicious Mexican food, and that's for me. For me, like food is culture. That's how I like to embed myself. My favorite thing when I go travel to another country is to try their food.
Okay.
And I feel like if you don't have an opportunity to travel, food is kind of that way to transport yourself to that culture and experience what that culture is like. So
that is true.
Naturally living here too, really close to the border, like we went to Mexico all the time. It's so easy. It's easier going to Mexico than it is for us to go to Las Vegas and Nevada living down here. One, it's closer, and two, back in the day, the restrictions, it wasn't as tough to go in and out of the border pre 9/11 too. Right?
Exactly.
Like
Thank
the
you.
check-ins weren't as crazy.
No, it was
like
pretty smooth.
You didn't need a global entry. You can kind of get in pretty easily in and out. And so for us, like going to Mexico was like a regular thing, whether that was like mission trips or just going on vacation, going for fun. And we went everywhere, like from Tijuana to Rosarito to Baja Ensenada to
Let's go.
to the to even like the little more bougie areas where the resorts are, like Cabo and
Cancun.
Before Puerto Vallarta became really popular. We would go to Puerto and Nuevo Vallarta, and then eventually we went to Cancun, and on the east side, but the west side is like where most of my experience in Mexico is.
Okay.
And so like, I mean, we used to just drive down and take the bus, like go into Tijuana and then take the bus down to Ensenada. Ooh. Like, like kind of like the charter buses. Like they're nice. They're real nice. So that's how we would do it. And so like, obviously we were really influenced by the food and the culture. And so for me, when the term Ay Papi, when the word Ay Papi came, it was like, well, what is this like? Because obviously there's like the comedic aspect to it, right? Like
of course.
People hear the term Ay Papi, but for us, like, for me, I feel like it's more of a feeling, like an emotion of inspiration. Like no one is ever going to throw that word around, Ay Papi, unless they're feeling it. It's not just like a.
No, it's true.
Like it's like you got to be feeling it in that moment. You have to be inspired enough to say it. And so for us, that was like, that's it. That's the feeling that we want to capture in our products. When people try our rosin, when people try our edibles, they don't have to say Ay Papi. It happens all the time. But I think it's that reaction, that emotion, that response that you get to trying something just delicious, whether that's really great food.
Exactly, I timed it with food,
yeah. And then it's essentially, that's what we want. We want to capture that holy shit, this is different moment.
Oh, I love that. So I want to ask, like, when did you start your cannabis journey? That's I'm curious about that.
I was 13, 14 years old when I first started smoking. That was my first time trying it. I was really nervous. I think most people are really nervous. This was like propaganda dare was really big. So,
oh my God.
So for me, like, and that was so new, like just a year before when I was talking to my brother, and my brother was like, oh yeah, I tried weed. I was like, whoa, you tried weed? I'm thinking like, I don't know the difference between that and cocaine. And this is how much I didn't know about it. I was like, oh, okay. So did you try pot? I didn't know they were the same thing. He was like, dude, they're the same shit. I was like, oh, they are. Oh shit. And then fast forward, like I end up trying it, and it was just, I was so scared. And my friends just kept telling me, just stop asking 21 questions. Just try it and decide for yourself. We smoked a blunt of White Rhino, if it was that. Ended up smoking about half of it to the dome. And a lot of people say they don't get high their first time. I definitely got lit my first time, like one of the highest I've ever been.
I am so glad you did, because it's funny you said that. My first experience, I did not. I did not get high. And I was just paranoid because I was wondering, like, so when is this going to kick in? I was asking my friends. I was looking at them. They're all giggling and laughing, having a great time. So I'm like, so when am I going to be laughing like you guys?
Oh, man. What did you smoke out of?
It was actually a blunt when it was back in North Carolina. So when I got out of the service, I was working at Panera Bread. And shout out to the homie Giovanni. But he was the one that introduced me into the cannabis field and made it safe. Because me growing up in with the Hispanic culture, it's almost frowned upon. A lot of the time it's frowned upon, it's shamed upon. And it's because we're not educated correctly. We're not taught like the benefits of cannabis, of medical marijuana. Like, so growing up to it, it's like, oh, you know, you don't smoke that. You're a bad person. Okay, so I did that. You know, grew up like that. And after I got out of the service, I had a friend that just kept like, hey, you know, if you want to smoke, let me know when you're ready. Let me show you the benefits. And then he started showing me the benefits of stuff like that. So I was like, okay. And little by little, I started getting into it. And in North Carolina was a little different. I mean, having a gram on you over there was a lot compared to here. You have a whole ounce, and it's insane. Yeah, so having like a gram on you there, one little nug was a lot. And coming out here having a whole ounce, you're like,
what do I do with this?
I remember that, and it was just such an experience. So I want to ask, when it came to picking out your brand, did you start it up by yourself? Was it a group? Was it just by yourself? Or how did this all come to be?
So kind of rewinding back, I was working in cannabis during 215. Okay. 215 was, before legalization, California had a program called 215, for those that don't know. It was basically our medical program.
Ooh, educate us. Okay, I want to know.
It was the way that if you had a medical license or a card, you can go and purchase at the shop, but you had to have that license. So you had to get a doctor, a physician to sign off on it.
Yes, okay.
And so that was when I got more involved into the industry. I would basically go to Humboldt, grab a bunch of packs and drop them off to the dispensaries. But then it just got really, really sketchy, and I was just done feeling like paranoid, like that I was going to get in trouble, even though I felt like I was doing something like kind, like providing medicine,
exactly,
for a lot of these patients.
And you're being
it was just like those days were rough. Like, you had shops getting raided. I had shops that I worked with that were getting raided, and it was like, oh man, that's like 1 degree of separation away from me. And so, and at the time I was working in entertainment as well. And so, even then, cannabis was more frowned upon because it wasn't legal. And so for me, working in entertainment, like if I got in trouble with anything with cannabis, like that would basically kind of get you blacklisted.
Zero tolerance.
It'd be tough to get a job after that, or you'd be labeled like a bad seed. And so for me, I stepped away from it. And I just started focusing on entertainment. Then once legalization happened, I started working with another company called Cannabis. And that was kind of like my foot back into the industry, but on the legal side.
Nice.
So I learned a lot more about like how the industry works, the landscape of it, the regulations, and things like that. And then at that time, I was heavily consuming rosin as a patient, as a connoisseur, as a consumer. And so I was spending way too much money on rosin.
So I want to talk about the rosin back in the day because it's so different from now. Like so different. So I want to ask you, like, did you have your rosin more in a rosin? Was it more shatter? Was it? That's what I want to ask.
So it was different. Like I would get some fresh press, some cold cure, some ice water hash.
Oh, okay.
Sometimes I get the fresh press, let it sit out a bit, and just kind of cold cure itself, and then whip it up. Nice. But it was getting pricey. Like I was spending way too much money on it, and so the joke is, and it's not really a joke, but my CPA yelled at me. And when you're like paying a professional, it's weird when you pay someone and they yell at you. You're like, I guess I should listen to this. But he's like, look, like I get like weed is like not dangerous and it's like not a hard drug or anything like that. But it's like, I'm just looking at it from a finance point of view. Like this is a problem. Like you look like you have a problem, and that's just because it costs a lot of money. Like it does, and like I'm a sharer. I like to share. And I like to be a good host. You know?
Me too. I love that.
And so yeah, it was just like one of those things where he's like, you should just start a business if you're this passionate about it and you consume it. Like I'm not sure it'll cost you more than this. And so that gives you an idea of how much I might have been purchasing. But essentially that started it. And
I just want to ask a little bit because you did mention the entertainment business. If you don't mind me asking just a little bit about it, what exactly did you do for entertainment? We don't have to say exactly like the company or anything, but I'm just curious.
That's fine. I started acting at a pretty young age, which is really fortunate.
Okay.
And then from there, I started a production company and started doing more work behind the camera. I still work as an actor, mostly like voiceover work, just because like it's more amenable to my schedule. But
Where can we catch this at? I gotta see this.
I mean, I started off with a show called Arrested Development. So I was on that show for 4 seasons. So it's on. I think it's still on Netflix for now. So
yes, I've watched a couple episodes here. I didn't know that.
Yeah, good luck trying to recognize. Now I'm really little in there. Like I was basically 14 years old.
Yeah, I'm a young dude.
But I look like I was like 9.
There we go.
You know, and like I kind of grew up on that show. You know, I wasn't. I think I just started shaving when that show happened. And
so being an actor, like I want to ask that too, because this is interesting. I get intrigued by that as well. So you in the entertainment business, do you still have connections with some of those folks that you've worked with in the past, and are they supportive of what you do now? That's what I do want to ask, because sometimes people switch up. So I want to ask.
I have maintained some contacts with some people. I think the nature of the business is when people start getting busy and start working a lot, it just becomes hard to stay in touch.
That's true.
I mean, that show in general, Arrested Development, it was very difficult to even do the 4th and the 5th season, to give you an example, just because it's hard to get all the actors back together, their schedules, because every actor was just so busy working on this job. That show made a lot of A-list careers, and so it was a lot easier to shoot that show when that was the only thing we were all working on. Once it gets to that point, but I would say like it's a comedic show, so like a lot of them are comedians that come from a comedy background, and so I would say they're pretty open-minded. Like I don't think anyone really frowns upon it in that sense. They might not be as educated on it, as in like they may not consume as much, but I don't think anyone really frowns upon it at this day of age. Hollywood looks at it very differently now.
More accepting, and I've noticed that too, and especially like I tell people all the time, and folks ask me like, "Oh, Gio, why cannabis? Why cannabis in your life?" And I'm like, "Well, let me tell you. I mean, cannabis got me off pills, because when I was in the service, I had a lot of surgeries in my tailbone. So after so many surgeries, you start getting addicted. It happens, and you try to mask the pain doesn't go away, so you start taking more, and it's just, so when I got out of the service, I was still on pain medication to the point where I was like, no, I need to get off. And my drinking got out of hand too. And I tell that to people. I was like, my drinking got real like bad, and slowly I got into cannabis, and it's like just pushed all that away. And now I've been sober from pills. I've been sober from alcohol for 7 years now. So it's amazing. It's amazing, and it's amazing what cannabis can do for people if you educate yourself.
Yeah.
It's not just, I'm just here just smoking and smoking and smoking. No. There's medical benefits on why.
Yeah. I love that you shared that. That's actually a story I can relate with tremendously. That I've shared in some of the other podcasts. But I started using cannabis recreationally, but eventually I found a use for it medically for the same reasons. I had a lot of injuries. Yeah. So a lot of sports injuries and back injuries. And again, during our time, like, we didn't know what opioids did. Like, we didn't, they kind of swept that under the rug. Yeah. And so, like, I was 16 going to the doctor, and the protocol was to give me Norcos and Vicodin. And
thank you.
You don't know that you're taking something bad when this is a doctor that you've just been,
and you're only 16. That's the craziest part. You're only 16.
It's unlimited refillable. At that time, it was unlimited refillable.
Yep, and they don't question it.
And so and it's like, I guess this does make my back feel a little better. But then you start feeling other stuff from it, and you're like, hey, that feels pretty good too. And it got bad, man. Like I was like, I even competed on pain pills. Like, it was so bad I would compete high. Like, it was pretty terrible. But that makes the recovery, what I learned is that makes the recovery even worse. Like, our body needs pain signals to heal. If it doesn't feel pain, the brain doesn't know it needs to send things to heal it. So when we take painkillers to mask the pain, you're slowing down the healing process because your brain doesn't know it needs to send cells to heal it.
No,
and
exactly.
So it's like, what's the saying? You're trying to put a Band-Aid over a giant leak, and it doesn't work. And so that for me was when I found, like, okay, once I could feel, because you hit a certain point where you're like, okay, the come down is not good on this. And then, at least for me, it was like, that's when I started realizing, like, I don't think this stuff is very good for me. Like, I don't think this stuff is making me feel good anymore.
No, you start getting, like, a little aggressive. You start getting moody.
You get moody.
Yes.
In the morning.
Yes, thank you. And it's like no reason.
Yeah, because you're coming down from heroin. Like,
no, 100%. Yeah, and it's like, you don't realize that when you wake up.
And clammy, you don't realize it.
Thank you. Oh my gosh.
And then you take another pill, and you're like, I'm great. But you build such a tolerance to these pills that's where it becomes dangerous, where you can end up taking like 12, 15. And the scary thing for me is once you get a tolerance like that and you're somewhat responsible and disciplined, it works against you because people don't think you're on anything.
Exactly.
They just think, and if you get a little irritable, they just think, he's stressed because he works a lot. They're imagining like someone that's on these pills feeling this way is not going to be working. They're just going to be sitting there chilling, comatose. And it's like, that wasn't the case for a lot of us. We're taking these painkillers so that we can have our life back, so that we can continue to do the things that we need to do. And so that's why I took it, was that, and it made me feel good, right?
No, 100%. And same thing for me too as well. And I do understand as well, like, it's hard. And I do want to ask too, like, especially on mental health note too, because for us, the mental health wasn't really all there. So it's like, if you ask for mental health, you ask for help for that, it's almost like they kind of like frown upon you. They're like, something's wrong with you. Like, so you don't speak up. And
especially immigrant mentality, dude. What you mean? How are you going to tell your parents who had to deal with the life they had to deal with?
Exactly.
Hey, Mom and Dad, I'm depressed. Like, you're depressed.
Yeah, like, they're like, you even know what depressed is? I was like, what the fuck? They're like, you're not depressed, you're just acting dumb. I was like, you're right. Like, but it's the old, and I do. I laugh about it because it's growing up. Yeah, I dealt with that too, and it's funny because now we're adults, and it's like, okay, we do know what this stress is, or a type of depression, or this, and then we're understanding it. It's like, okay, but we weren't taught how to like cope with it correctly or how to deal with it. And I explain to people like, hey, check out cannabis. It's not for everybody. I tell everybody on the show like, hey, what might work for me might not work for you. I'm not out here saying, go smoke, go do it. No. Do everything responsible. That's why we're out here in a contained environment. That's why we're enjoying the smoke. That's why we're not here at the beach and you guys can see us at the beach with some kid in the background. We don't need that. So, got to keep it responsible.
Yeah, you got to be respectful, right? At people's space. Like, I get it. I love the smell of cannabis, but some people are very sensitive. That's the peach trees.
That is amazing.
Yeah, it's got a Z thing going at the end.
Oh, that's good. Ooh. I've never tried anything like that. That's different.
Oh, thank you.
It's got that peach taste too. Like, yeah, this is phenomenal.
Thank you,
Thank you.
Every now and then I get a little banana out of it, and I think that's because the peach tree cross is a Taliman and
yes, at
Peach
the end.
Panther. Mm-hmm. And then
you do
that's
get it.
Grown by Whitethorn Valley Farm.
Okay, so I want to tap in with that because I was told by a certain individual that you do have hands down one of the best Whitethorn roses in the market. And I have actually got to try it before, so I'm going to say that is true. It is true. I mean, I've tried other Whitethorn roses from different brands and companies and stuff like that. It doesn't match to yours. And yours is it's from the farm. It's legit from the actual dude, which is phenomenal because I try to get that gentleman on the show too, and one day we'll get there. But what made you chase after that Whitethorn rose too? What made you want to go for that one?
So that was like that happened. It's a pretty crazy story. I went to the Ganja program, and the Ganja program is up in Humboldt, and so I was trying to get certified there. So you do like a 2-day training, and then you have some people come back to do the testing after that. It's basically like a sommelier wine program, but for cannabis. And so,
I didn't know that.
Yeah, it's pretty great. Like, you should look into it.
I definitely want to. That's so cool.
I think you'll like it. Like the community there, it brings a really diverse group of cannabis connoisseurs from around the world. So we've got Ganja. It's like all over the world. It's a pretty cool network.
That's so cool.
Yeah, it's a pretty cool network. Just a bunch of people that like to like nerd out over weed.
Oh, that sounds like my cup of tea.
Yeah. And so when I went up there, like they basically had a farm tour, and it's kind of random which farm that you go to.
Okay.
So for me, I ended up going to Huckleberry Hill Farms, which is pretty cool. And then I got to let them know that I really appreciate the Whitethorn rose. My gratitude for them growing the strain, and just how it impacted my life, and that in my mind that was kind of the type of cultivar I want to release to represent the brand. Something that's exotic, something that's different, something that's unique, but also something that's nostalgic. And essentially, how we said before, like the word Ay Papi, something that brings a feeling and emotion out, that inspires you to share it, whether that's saying Ay Papi or not, or letting the next person know, like, you got to try this. This is different. And that was it. And you know, we had a great conversation. He shook my hand and said, I don't have an exclusive, so if you want some. And so we took some of it, and we did the best that we could with it to process it. I was very adamant of doing my best to build the story around Whitethorn Rose, to build the appetite of it, to get it out to be a household name and a household strain, like a OG or a Sour D or a Blue Dream, or a Jack Hare, right? And so that was the goal. And when we won at the Emerald Cup with it, it's pretty cool to win at the competitions with it, because there are other brands that enter the Whitethorn Rose as well.
So, okay, that's what I want to touch on that too, because like I mentioned earlier, there was other brands that do have the Whitethorn Rose as well. So when you went to your first competition on that, like you said, was the Emerald? How was that, especially when you had other groups putting in almost a...
The Emerald Cup was cool. I'm not sure if anyone else submitted Whitethorn at the Emerald Cup. I believe it's happened at the State Fair. But at the Emerald Cup, I'm not sure, entirely sure, but it was pretty incredible. I think someone actually entered a Whitethorn gummies, and so our gummies, our Whitethorn Rose gummies, ended up winning. But the gummies are pretty cool because we don't add any flavor to it. It's only flavored by the rosin. So if you think about it, the gummies that won, all other gummies are like mostly trying to mask the flavor of the input they're using. We instead didn't mask it, we highlighted it. And if you think about it, the gummy that won was the one that didn't add any flavor. And so that's how we want to like educate people
I like that.
onto cannabis and kind of like break the stigma. That's how you're going to get people outside of cannabis to try it and enjoy it.
True.
Because you get them to try and you have them like guess the flavor, and they go through a bunch of flavors they know, but then you tell them like, no, this is whitethorn rose and you can only get it from this strain right here. If we don't put the rosin in, there's not that flavor. It opens their mind. It opens their eyes, because then we start saying like, well, couldn't we be using these flavors in like cooking or in culinary? Because ultimately, a high is just the experience, right? Whether it's good or bad. We get high when we eat great food.
Yes.
The experience is phenomenal, and that's because we enjoy it the same way we enjoy cannabis, through our five senses. So the Emerald Cup was cool because to win the Whitethorn Rose Ice Water Hash category, it was like kind of a little manifestation. When I was up there, I said I wanted to see every brand out there with their own Whitethorn Rose SKU. And I know like some people will say that's kind of antithetical to the company, because then it's like, well then, wouldn't you want to be the only one with Whitethorn Rose? But for me, I think if it's something special like that, like it needs to be shared to the world. Like people need to try it. People need to experience it.
I like that.
People need to know where it came from, the farm that it came from, the story behind it, what went into it. And so, yeah, totally. Like, I mean, if you look at it now, if you go to the shops now, I would say the majority of the hash and rosin brands have a Whitethorn Rose SKU now.
Yeah,
and
or some sort of mix, or
yeah, and it wasn't like that before.
I've noticed that there's like, not to name other brands, but I have noticed there is a lot of like, yeah, it's either a cross with Whitethorn Rose or cross with X and Whitethorn Rose to be. So that is unique, that it is popping up almost everywhere now. Yeah,
and that's the goal, right? Like, it's happening here, and then hopefully it starts to happen across the country and into other countries, and hopefully everyone gets to experience it.
The world does deserve to try this out, because it is one of my top favorite strains, and that's not just to say, oh, because it you have it too. No, it's not that. It's from the smell to the flavor to the terp profile, it's phenomenal. There's nothing I can say about it. Even when smoking your rosin from your brand, it's clean, smooth. I don't get no nasty coughs. I don't know. It's weird to explain, or not weird, but it's like, it's almost pure. It's almost like it's so clean. And I recommend this to everybody that's watching this episode. Like, go try Ay Papi out. Let them know that ATLP sent you. If you see it here, if not, see it at the stores, check it out. It's worth it. It's worth the investment. It's an investment. And I always tell people, it's not, oh, I wasted money on this rosin. No, you got to think about it as an investment. I invested into this rosin. I invested into this brand. And then you see it like that. It's like, okay, you don't feel bad. Yeah, so.
Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, I got to shout out the growers, right? It's the growers that are doing it, like Mattole Valley Sungrown, an amazing farm that we work with and won a Golden Bear with them, and Canyon Creek Family Farms over at the State Fair for the best concentrate in California. That was for our Sour Z thumbprint.
Oh, but,
wow. Yeah, I mean, what are we talking about? That rosin hit real good.
I was just about to tell you that. I was like, super good. Super good.
I know where we were going. So, I was giving people their flowers.
Yes,
so yes. No pun intended. Obviously, the credit has to go to the farms because of the way they're cultivating it. The hash maker is a vital piece, so they have to get a shout out as well. But the hash makers will tell us too, like, they can't make a diamond out of shit. Like if the genetics aren't good, or if it wasn't grown well, you can only pump out the potential of what's there.
True.
And so, like, it's a two-way road. It's really a collaboration. Like, and the opposite can happen too. You could have something that's grown well, and the genetics are phenomenal, but the maker could just mess it up or make a mistake. And so, both are possible, and both are a craft in their own sense. And so, that is a responsibility of a craft business and a craft industry. Is like, we have to elevate it. We have to bring strains like this, and then find the next one and the next one and the next one, because if we continue to build the aha moments, then and the masses get to try it, it's the consumer's money that dictates what changes. And so if the consumer now wants to try better and better things, it's hard to go back to something worse once you've tried something better.
Yeah, you don't ever really go back.
Yeah, and to your point of clean, I think a big reason of that is Ay Papi has stayed committed to exclusively working with regenerative, organic, sun-grown cannabis. And so that is the cleanest method of cultivation. It's basically living soil indoors is paying homage to sun-grown regenerative. But at the end of the day, just like our food, nothing beats fully organic, sun-grown, regenerative agriculture. At the end of the day, that also is the only form of cultivation that actually strengthens the land and reduces carbon emissions in there, like in our world. And so, yeah, I mean, it's basically making our land stronger. It's the most sustainable way of growing. And it's funny that the most sustainable way of growing ends up being like the cleanest, healthiest way to consume.
That is true. That is 100% true. And so I want to ask, where, being in this field, being in this cannabis field, where are some of the most unique places you got to travel because cannabis got you there? Because it actually took you there instead of like, oh, since you're an actor too, instead of getting flown out because you're acting, oh, it's because of cannabis got me to these exclusive places. I got to go here because I never thought in my life, oh, I would go here just because.
So I have had the fortune of traveling to various places. And I always say cannabis, just kidding. TSA, just kidding. I always happen to find cannabis there, just wherever I go. But honestly, I'll probably use Humboldt just because for I think our community, it's kind of like the mecca of cannabis.
I believe it is. I do agree.
It's a really unique place with unique terroir. Just the land is it's a different culture. I've never really found anything like it. And if I found something like it with regards to how the nature and the landscape is, I haven't seen another place that has that landscape that's such a weed community, like such a cannabis community, a diehard cannabis community to the roots.
It's true.
And that's the legacy right there. It's like all these genetics we have to thank for the people that have been growing out there that believed in that. And it's a different way of living. It's definitely not, I wouldn't say it's easy, but I think it's a blessing to be able to experience what it's like walking through a field of cannabis in full bloom just before harvest. And I think that's why we enjoy putting out solventless live rosin, because like most flower that you consume, it's been cured. So it's going to change. It's a beautiful process, an evolution, and it changes, but it's not always the same as what it smelled like when it was in the ground. And I think most people don't get to experience what that's like to walk through the fields. And trying rosin is kind of your way of tasting what those fields smell like when you're walking through there, because we take it and we fresh freeze it, right? We freeze it right away.
I never thought about it when you put it like that.
The essence of it in full bloom.
When you put it like that, it does change the perspective of how I see things now, because you're right. And it shows you the actual. I never really thought about that, and it makes me wonder now. All the rosin stuff I got to try it out. It starts making me like think now and really like, oh, okay. I wonder now how that was, and wow, that's amazing. So I want to ask you too. Let's talk about when you went recreational for the first time. When did you appear? Do you remember what market, what store you appeared in first? I'm curious.
Yeah. March 2023. First store was Legacy Kush over in Orange County. And then about the same time, it was also in Hollywood at a location, AHHS. And then shortly after that, I want to say all three kind of happened at the same time.
Oh, nice.
They were different territories. Was Cake House Wildomar.
Yes, a shout out to Cake House. Honestly, one of I gotta give it up to Cake House. They're a great company, amazing great shop. People, great shops.
Amazing product.
Yeah, for real.
Great
honestly,
staff.
Yes, and they're educated too.
For good reason.
Yes, and I give them shout outs because they always treat you right. I've always been treated right at the Cake House, no matter whether it's Vista, Wildamore's location, or even in Encinitas, or even down in San Diego. Like, I always get treated right, and I do, give it up to Cake House for, holding it down for some of these brands out here, because I've noticed that they do accept more local brands, and I've noticed that they show more love than other shops, and because I've seen your brand at Cake House, I've seen your brand, I believe it was at Wellgreens.
Yeah. We're in I
love that.
Maybe 7 or 8 Wellgreens locations.
Yes, it's Vista. You're in Vistas for sure, because I've seen your jars in Vista. There was Vistas, Lemon Grove. There's a couple in San Diego. I've seen.
Wellgreens is a great shop too.
Yeah, they're great people. I
love working with them.
And so I want to ask, like, what are some of your favorite top strains? And I know that's kind of hard to ask, because it's like, oh, which one's... It's like having, puppies or dogs or kids, and like, oh, which one's your favorite kid? Which, you love all of them. But
that is really tough. But I will say, Sour D is always a staple for me. It's really nostalgic. That's it's just reminds me of my childhood. And then when you can find a good Sour D, like the one that we use from Atoll Valley Sungrown, which is an AJ Sour D cut.
Ooh, okay.
I like that one has won at the State Fair multiple years. Like it is a special Sour D. Really pungent lemon terps, lemon fuel, gas terps.
That's what I like too. I like that citrus.
Yeah, with a slight chemi note in there. Those are my favorite. Like I really like those like gassy chemi citrus notes. And then I would say the Riddles is something I've been really fond of lately.
It's actually and that one's an interesting one. I've actually got to try Riddles before. It's got a. It's unique because it has the white thorn rose and
then the Skittles in it.
That's what it was. Yeah. Yes.
So it has it's a different Z. It's a very, very different Z. And there's so many different Zs that are good out there. But I would say the Riddles is pretty unique. That one's a great one. And then if I had to pick one more, this is purely for therapeutic and medicinal reasons. I have to pick this one because this is a staple just for my Percy. The GMO XOZK. So it's a GMO crossed into a Z crossed into a OG Kush.
I've never heard of that one before. Okay, you're putting me on to something new.
It is. So it's not like, and I know people are probably like, GMO, what the? I am a GMO hoe. That's okay. I'm not ashamed.
Hey, I love that. GMO's good.
I like that garlic funk, but I get what people are saying where it could be like not as complex or not as layered. I think the GMO XOZK, that adds a different layer to it where you still get that garlic gas and that funk, but you get these sweet notes from like the sweet OG Kush. So it's like a sweeter GMO as it can. I don't mean sweet like candy.
No, it's a different type.
Sweet fuel. Yeah, and it's just it's wonderful, and therapeutically, like it's the best for stomach relief. It's the best for like relaxation and going to bed. My brain is always going
at 100 miles per hour.
Yeah, I can't do like a Sour D. That's not going to happen at night. Like my girlfriend will not let me smoke Sour D at night because like I'm not going to go to bed. My brain's just going to be moving. But I hit that GMO ZK and I'm ready to be tucked in. I'm ready to go.
That's amazing. Yeah. No, I love that. And I want to ask, so I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, but I might be. But I haven't seen any rosin pens yet. Is that something you guys are looking into getting?
We're R&Ding right now.
Nice.
So
That's
I'll
exciting.
Keep you posted on that. Maybe we could get you in on the R&D process.
That would be awesome. I would love to see that. That would honestly be an honor and a privilege to do that. That would be awesome. Because I was thinking, I'm like, man, it would be great to have your brand even on the go too, especially for folks that don't have a nice setup or don't even.
Convenience, yeah, it's necessary. I get it. It's one of those things where I feel like we all know convenience can often compromise quality.
True. Yes.
But having something is better than nothing.
Oh no, 100%.
Like if you're traveling, you can't take your old setup and really
know. Oh my God.
There's a time and place for everything. And like I'll tell you what, like when I've been traveling and you get there and you're hitting like a pen, but it's been the only thing you hit all day. Like sometimes those pens just get you. And you're like, whoa.
Oh, so that happened to me when I went out to Albuquerque. I went out to, well, it's an hour north of Albuquerque, New Mexico, and cannabis is legal out there. So I was looking around for something, I guess that looked familiar, and I get to that med shop and I'm just seeing all these like names I've never heard of before, and all of a sudden I see Dime, and I was like, all right, well, that's familiar. And like you said, you're stuck with one pen, and yeah, that gets you too. But you come back home and there's nothing like a fresh dab. Oh my gosh, a real good reset.
It feels like a tolerance break, doesn't it?
It does. And I'll just sit there and I'm just like, and it'll be like 15 minutes. I'm just sitting there and my lady's like, hey, you good? I'm like, yeah, I've been sitting out here that long. She goes, you're like stuck. And I was like, good stuff then. Good stuff. As if I'm quiet, if I'm not saying anything, that means it's good stuff.
Yeah, you like the quiet strains.
It's good. Yeah,
you like the GMO OZK.
I would definitely have to try that one out. That sounded really good too. I'm like, oh, I've never heard that cross. That was unique. So I do want to ask too, like, are there upcoming events that you're planning to come out? So if anybody wants to come out and see, your booth or get to meet your team or you in person, is there an event coming up soon?
I'd say the best thing to do is just stay tuned in to our Instagram. That's where we do all our announcements.
I love that.
Ay Papi Co. We typically do the hash flights, so that's something that we're looking at. And then I believe, I don't want to speak out of turn in case they didn't announce it, so I'm not going to say who, but there's likely another tournament that we're going to get involved in.
That's cool.
And so just stay tuned for that. It's going to be run by some great people.
Nice.
Great location. We'll likely set up there, and so it'll give people an opportunity to kind of try our product and at a price that is more reachable and accommodating than just going into the shops. And so it's not something that we do all the time, but when we get a chance to, we want to make sure that it makes sense for the consumer and that they're saving a lot, because I know it's not easy to make money, especially in today's age. And so we're incredibly grateful that people want to spend their hard-earned money and buy the products that we provide.
I love that. And I love that, I've been seeing, especially with your main Instagram page, because there's one solid page. I remember there was a decoy floating around somewhere, something like that. I remember that time. But I'll let everybody know. I'll put the page out here on the screen too, so you guys can tap in. Give Ay Papi a follow. Don't miss out on all the announcements coming up, because you don't want to miss it. I'm telling you, it's an exclusive thing that they don't pop out just everywhere. So it's like, if they pop out once in a blue moon, you got to catch them on that good blue moon. Then you don't want to miss out. And like I said, I appreciate, this conversation that we've had so far. It's been a lot. It's been educating. I've learned a lot from you in such a short amount of time, which was phenomenal. And to me, the man behind the brand is rare, because not everybody gets to do that. So it is a blessing. It's an opportunity, and I'm super grateful for that. I'm super grateful that you took your time to come down here too, as well. And so I want to ask for the folks out there, if they want to tap in with you, or they want to check you out besides the cannabis field, because you said Arrested Development, they'll keep an eye out for you on there. My question is, overall, is what are some words of advice that you have for people that want to get into this field, that one day dream of having their own rosin brand, or maybe even having their own wax pen? Because that's been a goal in my head. I told myself one day I'll have my own rosin pen. I don't care who I collaborate with. I'll make it happen one day, because that's the goal, is to have that pride, to be like, I have my own pen. That's pretty nice. And for some people, they just like, oh, you just want a pen? I'm like, yeah, we got to start small first. Got to start small first before we jump big. And
I think that's smart.
Mm-hmm.
Like, see if you enjoy it.
True.
Right? Like, if you invest so much into something and you make your first product and you realize, like, I don't like this at all, I just would rather just consume it, then you're kind of stuck.
Yeah.
And it makes it really difficult to pivot. And I like to do everything kind of data driven. And so,
that's really cool.
like, if we're talking about specifically cannabis, but I think this goes for anything, like, and it's a cliche thing, if you're passionate about it, if you love it, and you're willing to do it for little to no money to start, and still be fulfilled and get something out of it, then go for it. You won't waste your time, even if you just spent a year on it. Like, it's not the end of the world. You can pivot, but you'll have gained something from it, even if it's, oh, well, I tried it and it wasn't for me. If that's the worst thing in the world, then that's still a win, because you won't sit there thinking for the rest of your life, well, what if, what if, what if? Instead, you didn't waste a year.
I love that.
You figured it out in a year. And then you can pivot and launch onto whatever you're more passionate about. And if you find that cannabis is it, and that first year was like, okay, yeah, we made this first pen. You know, we didn't really make any money off it. We broke even, but people bought it.
I see.
Like, I guess there's a market. I guess people want it. And so you can incrementally scale up to there. And like, I think there's a million different ways to do something, right?
True.
That's a pretty conservative outlook. Like, I think if you're someone who has money and investment and experience to spend, like, that could be a little bit different, right?
Exactly.
If someone came up to me and was like, hey, I got 10 million, like, I would spend that a lot differently now than I would maybe 5-10 years ago.
Yes, I see that.
So, everyone's at different places in their life. And I think ultimately, if you follow what you love enough, at least your life will be fulfilled. Yeah.
Because it seems like, you talking about this whole cannabis journey, it seems like you're happy about it, that it's something that, you wake up to and you're like, yeah, this is something good. You feel great about what you're doing, that and you're making a difference to the community. You're bringing good medicine to the people out here, versus waking up and like, oh, I gotta go to work. Oh, I gotta go do this. It doesn't feel forced no more. It's more like you wake up and this is what you want to do.
It's something to be grateful for sure. I'd like to be doing this for as long as I can. It's something that I really enjoy. But I also think in life there's plenty of opportunities that will present themselves.
True.
And I don't think you always have to just pick one.
I like that. I
think sometimes when we don't force things, things can just kind of fall into place and work out. And, I think a lot of us are multifaceted, and we've been defined by just what our occupation is or what we do. But I think a lot of us have different interests and a lot of things that we enjoy and would like to try a lot of different things. And so I just hope everyone success, and that they could feel fulfill what it's like to be fulfilled, not by money, but just by accomplishing something, and the journey and the adventure to accomplishing it, more importantly.
No, and I love that those words of wisdom and encouragement right there, because a lot of us are chasing, yeah, we want to be rich. Everybody wants to be rich. Like, who doesn't? But knowing, you're going to be rich with more than just money. If you're, you put your time, your love into it, you put everything into it. It's you're going to be rich in more ways. And I love that it's, anybody can do it if they put their heart, soul, and mind to it. Anything is possible. And yeah, sometimes money is the factor of certain things. I get it, with having more money, yes, there's more things you can accomplish with having less money, but it doesn't stop you from trying. Go out there, chase your dreams, be ambitious of what you want to do. Never let anybody stop you from accomplishing it. Because at the end of the day, you never know. You're going to meet somebody, you're going to run into people that, hey, I really love what you do, or I've been paying attention from the get-go, or been a proud supporter. So, oh, excuse me. That was, and I love that. And you're very inspirational, and it's motivating. It's motivating to sit here with you, especially, like I said, not every day we get to sit out here with the owner of the actual brand. Like, this is phenomenal. But to really get to talk about it, to see how enthusiastic you are about your brand, about Roz, and about just the growth of everything. Like, it's very unique, and I love that you it shows that you actually care, that that you really want this. And for folks that are watching this around the world, because this show is not just located in California. I've had fans in Russia, Germany, out in Asia, down in India, up in Canada, down in Mexico, you name it, I'm everywhere. So that's a blessing. So you never know what people you're going to inspire in the community, who out there is going to watch it, because at the end of the day, cannabis does heal if you do your research, y'all. If you can abuse it, you can, like every other thing, you can abuse it. So you do your research correctly. What works for me might not work for you, y'all. So like I said, make sure if you're out there in the market, you're out there in any of the shops, like shout out to Walgreens or shout out to Cake House, and you see Ay Papi, go invest in some rosin or in some edibles too. So it's worth the investment. Check it out, y'all. This guy is a phenomenal gentleman here that, like I said, he took his time to really talk about the brand, talk about, these stories out here and really open up about who he is. And I want to ask, is there anything else you want to share to the community, to the world, before we start wrapping it up?
No. I think we hit everything. I appreciate your time and thank you for everything that you're doing. I think it's important to have people out there that are shining a light on our community and the craft brands that are trying to provide the best possible quality product for the consumers.
Thank you so much, Justin, for your time. I appreciate you. And like I said, everybody, make sure you tap in with Ay Papi. Check him out on Instagram. Check him out on your local markets too. I'll even put some of them out there so you guys can tap in as well. And even, don't be afraid. Go on Ay Papi on the Instagram page. Let them know what your favorite strain was, what your favorite edible was. Let them know why. Let me know on Around the Loop, hey, I really like this because X, Y, and Z, or not just because, it smacks. Well, yeah, that's great, but why? So, I want to hear it. I want to hear the feedback and, give Justin the feedback as well. Be honest with it. And like I said, I appreciate your time on the show. I appreciate you being out here, and it's been a phenomenal journey. It really has been. So, thank you guys for tapping in on this episode. We're gonna have many more coming out soon too. So it's not just the first out of the only. It's gonna be a part 2. We'll have a part 3. I'll be out there and about, with Ay Papi. So stay tuned, y'all. And thank you so much for being on this episode. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you. And that's a wrap. Perfect. Thank you so much.
Thank you.